Hello everyone, it's Shahol here, and if you're just starting Final Fantasy XI again after a long break, there's a couple things that you should know that are different. Things that you should, things that you should do immediately, as soon as you can. First of all, the level cap, as you can see, is now level 99, and not level 75 anymore. So if you're back in the 75 age, you'll want to level up to 99. Now, the quests are still kinda done by Mott, but more notably the Nomad Moogle right next to him. That's going to be the first thing that you're going to want to do. Next, so you remember back when the game came out, and you could spend your conquest points, because people would spend conquest points, and you would go to these common items, and, well, the Scroll of Instant Warp was 100 points, not 10. The Scroll of Instant Re-Raise was 75, not 7. Yeah, I remember that. And you remember the Return Ring and the Homing Ring? You read them, you think, well, that says Outpost Warp now. This one says Outpost Warp. And you thought that they'd be useful, but they're not. Well now, down here at the bottom, if you go to the next page, there's a Warp Ring. Warp Ring has unlimited charges, and it will warp you. It's like casting Warp. It's like using an instant Warp Scroll. You just have to equip it. 30-second cooldown upon equip, 10-minute cooldown between uses. Super easy. It's like a Hearthstone from World of Warcraft. Well, now you'll notice that the home point here says home point number 1, and not just home point. Why is that? Well, let me just run out here real quick to show you that they've now put more than one home point in a zone. They've added a lot more home points. So over here, next to this auction house, there's a home point. Whoa. And now, not only can you set them as home points, but you can travel between any home point that you've touched. So now you can say, oh, I'm going to go to the home point, let's say by the entrance, which is home point number 1. And that E next to it means entrance. The M means Mog House. If it's got an A next to it, which this one will, it'll mean it's at the auction house for the zone. And look, I'm right there. Super easy. You can also, if you just say current region, it'll be wherever you're in. Keep in mind, if you're transporting in the same region, there is no fee for using it. Right? Notice how it says there is no fee for teleporting to home point number 1 in southern Sandoria. Third line from the bottom there, you can read it. But if I'm going to go to, say, Juneau, to Relude Gardens, home point number 1, well, that's 500 gil. Well, where else have they put some home points? Well, so there's the 3 major towns. Well, the 3 starting cities. Then Juneau, and then Ottergon, and then Adoulin, then Ronfar? What's in Ronfar? Oh, you got Grotto, right outside of Hilaris Peak. Zolkheim in Selbina. Gustaberg in the Palbaro Mine, so right outside of Wagleroon Shrine. You can see where this is going. Pretty much right outside of all the BCNM zones. Biffum, oh, Upper Delkfuts Tower, right before Stellar Fulcrum. So, yeah, they even put them in sea and in sky. So it's a lot easier to get around using home points. You just have to get them all. New systems that they've added something called Records of Eminence. you'll want to get Records of Eminence as soon as you can. All that you need to do is you open up your main menu like so, go on over to Quests. Then in Quests, you notice at the bottom they have this Records of Eminence spot. Now, they have current, and you'll notice I have 11 out of 15. That means is I have 11 separate Records of Eminence set. Right? This large dot means it hasn't been completed yet. The small dot means it has, just like with key items and examining them. And certain ones you can do over and over and over and over, such as this Vanquish Multiple Enemies 1, and this deal 500 plus damage. However, some of them say not repeatable. So you see it's not repeatable. Then the objective list, go to the tutorial, start with the basics, and you'll just go through, do all 5. It's super easy. It'll get you acclimated with the system. There's stuff for quests to find out, oh, what quests do I need to do that are important? Artifact armor quests, right? And then level cap increases. And if you've already done them, you just select them, and it'll go, yeah, you got them. Inventory expansion. And yeah, so it's great for new players as well, but I'll go over that in my new player video as to what are actually in all of these. And then on top of that, you'll notice, let me go back in there, you see that says sparks. You can have up to 50,000 sparks, and right now I've got 5,539 sparks. In order to redeem your sparks, you have to find the Sparks Dealer. There's one in each starting city, by an entrance, and so the one in Sandoria is in southern Sandoria. The one in Bastock is in Bastock Markets, right by the entrance there, and the one in Windurst is in Windurst Woods, right by the entrance. And then there's in Adoulin by the Mog House is the 4th guy. And the Sparks Dealer has a whole bunch of stuff for you. Now, if you were around when the level cap raised to 99, so you don't have to really go any higher, then you know, you don't have to do the 75 to 99 grind. Then there's stuff for you in here. If you go to the level 99 equipment, and you'll notice that there's Outrider Mask, which has an item level on it. Item levels are another new thing that they effectively raise your level. There are 6 pieces of gear, well, more than 6 slots, but essentially 6 slots that determine your item level. That's your weapons, which I'm just going to treat all these as the same as a slot for this purpose, but your weapons can have an item level, and then your head, your body, your hands, your legs, and your feet. As of this recording, 119 is the highest item level. Also, this is a reforged artifact armor. There's an entire video about that, of how to do it. I'm not going to go over that here. But other things, other reasons to get sparks are, so for items, you can get instant warp and instant re-raise with sparks, not like you need it. Capacity ring, which is for job points, I'll get into that in a second here. And the biggie, skill increasing tomes. That's right. What do these all do? Well, let me just grab one of these here. Let's grab one. A throwing weapon in Chiridon. However you pronounce that. Yeah, I think I got it right. I just use this real quick, and oh look, my throwing skill went up. That's it. You use one of those, and it does a skill up roll. Now it's not the skill up roll chance. You will get a skill up from it, but it rolls the how much you get. Does that skill up roll versus your current level, and there it goes. It raises it. So that's why I get 0.5. However, if I were to use these and my throwing skill was much closer to my current level cap, I would be getting 0.1 skill ups pretty much only. You can also trade copper vouchers that you get through Records of Eminence to them. That's down here with exchange AMA and currencies. And you can get 1,000 of a whole bunch of other things. Ballista points, plasm, kinetic units, crewer, assault points, valor points, bailed, conquest points, sparks. You can just get sparks that way. So that's Records of Eminence, and where to go to turn stuff in. If you get a copper voucher, just trade it to them. 3 more things. 2 of them are dealing with transportation, and 1 of them with battle help, which the battle help I'm going to go into now. Trust. They had a new system called Trust, which they finally moved into its own menu here. It used to be under Magic, but now it's under Trust. Trust is alter egos that they're party members. They're NPC party members that are your current level. And they just help. They have their own AI depending, right? IMA is a samurai, uses a great katana, and she holds TP until you use a weapon skill. When you use a weapon, or until you are ready to use a weapon skill. Then she will use her weapon skill when you have TP. That way you can close skill chains. IMA is a great trust for doing weapon skill trials. She'll try and do level 3s as much as possible. Just use a weapon skill, and she will start to use only weapon skills that chain with the one weapon skill that you're using. There's different white mages that do different things. For example, the first white mage you get is Kupipi. She just pretty much cures and does protect and shell, and that's it. However, when you get down to Millie, Millie will cure and protect, and shell, and melee, and have her own weapon skill called Scouring Bubbles. So if you need a white mage that isn't just standing around doing nothing, you got Millie. But then, let's see, where's the next one? Cherokee. Well, Cherokee's like Kupipi in that she just stands around and doesn't actually attack, but she will debuff the mob with slow and paralyze and silence and all those, as well as protect and shell and haste. Ingrid, also a white mage, will cure only when you're under 50% health, but will haste you. Or no, I don't think she hastes. But she uses Holy, Banish 3, Banish Ga. You know, she's more of an attack white mage. And then Ferris Coffin, he Big Galka that attacks with a club, a relic club. Mjolnir does Rangirth as his weapon skill, will haste you and will cure you, and that's it. So they all have different they all have different move sets. They have different AIs. That's what I was looking for. In Sandoria, Gondabaud is the guy you'll talk to for trust. You'll start doing the trust through him. There's one in the 3 starting cities. And then there's some other trust stuff going on as well, but that's how you start getting into Trust. Just to kind of show... I'm not going to show off Trust. I'll get into a entire Trust video. A what is Trust thing. If I go to Northern Sandoria, the entrance here... So you remember Outpost warping. That was pretty much the way to get around that and telepoints. Now, telepoints aren't really used too much anymore. And Outpost warps, well, with not as many people doing Conquest, it's kind of hard to, you know, get that Gustaberg outpost if you're Sandorian. So they have introduced survival guides. Survival guides are placed at every outpost, plus the 3 starting cities and Relude Garden and a couple other points that are not exactly outposts. And you can just teleport to any of the ones that you've been to. Yes, Guy is included. But they're pretty much at all the different... locations. Now, it costs a little more than Outpost warping. But... it works. So I'll go to Relude here real quick for the last method of transportation that you should start thinking about. Because these are also incredibly useful. To a lesser extent if you haven't, or if you've already done everything, but... another home point right there. So if you come up here and you talk to Anastase, notice that there's a proto waypoint right here. Now these are also used all throughout Adoulin, and they work on kinetic units. Kinetic units are, well, you see there, 22,557 kinetic units that I can teleport to. A whole bunch of locations that are in this area. Well, this theater, right? Kinetic units, in order to get them, trade crystals. Trading crystals will get you kinetic units. So you see, I just got some kinetic units there. That guy, and that will take you around to all the different locations, including the top of the giant mountain thing that you have to climb in Ottawa Chasm, which don't like having to climb that. Now, if you're in Adoulin, which I'll just go to Adoulin here. If you have Seekers of Adoulin, you should start up your Mog Garden. Well, how do you start your Mog Garden? What is a Mog Garden? That's a video for another time. However, Adoulin is where Mog Gardens came from. Now, there's 2 ways to access your Mog Garden. First way is you go inside of any you go inside of your Mog House, any Mog House, doesn't matter. And then you can select an area to exit to and say your Mog House. Otherwise, if you talk to this guy right here, Dungubert, he can send you to your Mog Garden. very simple. Your Mog Garden is your own little personal paradise. As soon as it ever loads. There we go. The good thing that I like about my Mog Garden is that... Oh, didn't want to do that. Go away. Absolutely nothing. I can talk to this green thumb Moogle. I've got a quest. And I can buy or sell things. Which is great. I don't ever have to look for a vendor. I just have one. So I don't ever have to worry about it. And to leave, you just go over to the Mog Dinghy. Plus, there's a Porter Moogle right there. So you never have to worry about anything like that. So, if you're just starting again after a long time, welcome back to the game. If you're thinking about coming back, there's been a lot of improvements, aside the ones that I've mentioned, mainly because I can't mention them all. There's way too many. Way too many. And they've just made quality of life in the game so much better. Two of the big things that they've changed are they've added equipment sets where you can now go in, edit an equipment set, and then just use that in your macro. They're not as fast as using Gear Swap or Spellcast, but it makes it so that you can do it in-game and not using Windower. I love that. I refuse to use anything like that with Windower. The stuff that I do use with Windower you can see here on my screen. You know, I use Recast, or Timers as it's called now. I use Attainment down there at the bottom. I use the TP, or Tea Party, which I'd use the in-game version, which exists, except it doesn't show me a percentage for the mob's HP, which I like. You can kind of guesstimate it anyway, so it doesn't really break anything. And the only thing that's really kind of hacky is the distance in the upper right corner there. You know, that's tells me how far away someone is. But even then, if I'm using an ability, they now have a sub-target arrow that changes color based on if you're in range or not, which is really nice. And I use Zone Timer, and that's mainly for Dynamis timing. One of the other neat things that they did is if I go down here to try and sell this, it now shows me the sell history up there. So I can see, oh, well, this was 1K. The majority of the times it was bought. So, okay, I'll put it up there for 1K. Right? You don't have to worry about selecting an item and going, okay, well, now I want to sell this Rubicon cell, right? Or this Xanthus cell. Okay, well, now I need to go to bid, and then I have to go to, where is it? Is it under others? Maybe MISC? And then that Rubicon cell, maybe it's under R here. Once you sort it. Oh, there it is. Okay, and then I go price history. Okay, it's 1K. Okay, what else do I have in my bag? Crap. Alright, well, I better sell this. And that, you know, it just becomes a hassle. And it's not worth doing a lot. So now they put that in there, and that is amazing. It is super happy, fun time. Yeah, so that's about it if you're coming back. First thing to do, obviously, is get your trusts, get your records of eminence started, because those two things right away. Your trusts will make it easier to do anything else. Your records of eminence will, with your sparks, you can buy like these SBO hose here. It's either item level 117, and they are Sparks gear. You can buy an entire set of this stuff for, I think it's 17,000 Sparks. And there's even skill up armor that's in there as well for Sparks, which is amazing. I love it. As well as weapons to get you up there. So as soon as you hit 99, you can easily jump 17 levels. And then you can always, if you know what you've got on, check param me, and maybe if you don't type that slash, it'll show you your average item level, which is what you con to enemies, your accuracy, your attack, your evasion, your defense. They're actually telling us stuff now. It's nice. So, yeah, if you're coming back, start with those, and then work your way into high-tier stuff. You can get there pretty quick. And if you're going to be just starting out, then I hope you enjoy yourself. But hope you come back and have a great time. You know, enjoy the game. A lot's changed. Don't dwell on the past. And hope to see you in Vanadil. See ya.